Welcome back to a discombobulated episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast from me, Jason.
And me, Jennifer.
Have a few drinks.
And talk shit about our kids.
Please follow us on Instagram and
YouTube.
YouTube, thank you, at Guide to Poor Parenting.
And Twitter, Facebook, TikTok at Poor Parent Pod.
And Miss Jennifer, I am so happy because we are joined by one of my best work friends who I inadvertently told the other day that I love her for some strange reason. We're joined by Miss Lisa. Hi, Miss Lisa. Say hi.
Hi. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
And nice meeting you. This is our first time meeting. It happens a lot.
Yeah.
Jason has a lot more people that want to come on than I do. But I love meeting new people, and I seem to really enjoy the people that And we got to talk a little bit before the podcast, and I already know that I'm going to love you as well. So, I'll say I love you.
Thank you.
Everybody needs to hear it.
We were, Lisa and I have worked together for it's 3 years now, I think, because we started. When did you start? Because I started like the week before Thanksgiving. When did you start?
February after.
February after? Okay.
Yeah. So
almost 3 years. It has been a wild ride of, we won't get into the naming companies, but it's been a wild ride of bosses and coworkers.
Coworkers that are no longer there.
Yes.
And coworkers that maybe should not be there or told what to do. I get to hear all the stories.
Yeah.
So I feel like I work there as well. I just don't get paid all that good money that y'all get paid.
But we
all love Jason.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I mean, it's really hard not to love him because he's such a sweet, big old teddy bear. I'm trying to just
amp me up.
Not amp you up, but tell you I love you so much and butter you up. That was the word I was looking for because I might need help this week with my son. So I'm just trying to be like, I love you so much. And
I do that too with him at work.
do you?
Oh, thank you.
Look, you're my favorite.
I need help with a problem.
Yeah, Lisa and I will Lisa and Daniel and I will call each other and it's like, who's got the gossip? Who's got the tea? So
you still get workplace.
Oh yeah, we still get the gossip.
Get the good stuff. Even though you are remote, not like me where I get the good stuff or I'm part of the bad stuff because I said something.
Jennifer has to work. We're not going to name names, but she has to work in an office, and there's always some drama going on.
It feels like elementary school or middle school. You say you're talking to someone and someone overhears your conversation and doesn't like it, but you're not talking to. It's very catty.
High school-esque.
Middle school.
Is it girls? Because it's usually girls, right?
A lot of ladies.
Yeah.
Catty ladies. What Lisa and I met in 2020? I think it was 21. It was 21 because that's when I've been here 3 years. So it would have been.
I think it was 22 for me.
Yeah, 22.
February, yeah.
And we still talk about our first boss on this project because him and another coworker would literally get into yelling matches in front of the customer. And we would just sit there in awkward silence.
And Jason doesn't like conflict.
Mm-mm.
And
nobody does.
Well, I kind of do. I
She'll
don't know.
argue with
It's entertaining. It is entertaining.
Right. As long as I'm not involved, I like conflict.
Exactly.
But if I'm involved, I don't. It's like RuPaul's Drag Race. I love when there's conflict and that part. And then he's like, I'm gonna go pee and you don't have to pause it.
Yeah.
I don't like conflict if I have to be witness to it, but I love hearing about it secondhand. That's my favorite way to get it.
With the conflict that we did here, I found myself ask myself, is this normal? Is there is there shit going on between these people? Do other people realize it? Am I the only one? And so I was asking myself these questions.
I remember at the time you and me and Daniel would get on the phone and be, this is happening, and it was crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It is
what did I get myself into here with this job?
Now, Miss Lisa, you are actually joining us remotely. You are our third remote, I think. Yeah, normally we're holed up on my couch and drinking wine, bitching about the kids, but because I got the granddaughters over and they're 2 and 4 and run amok everywhere. I was like, okay, we're going to have to retreat to my office.
Amok, amok, amok.
So, Miss Lisa, where are you reporting live from today?
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Jersey.
Do you like it there?
I do, but it's the only place I've really lived, so, you know.
Okay. So born and raised?
How do you... Yeah, so how do you know what,
Yeah.
what's good or what isn't really?
And if that's what you know and you like it, that's all that matters. You're not trying to move somewhere else, so there you go.
We'd love to have you.
I'm an Army brat, so I kind of moved everywhere. And so Huntsville is the only place that I've been the longest, like, just here. So it's a little different experience for me than someone who's been in the same state their whole.
Do you have a favorite place
Germany.
you've lived? Really?
Yeah, any part.
Huh.
Europe.
Interesting.
I say that's my home. I was made there, but then I was born in the States. So that's it. Germany's my home. That's where I would love to just that's where I want to retire and live forever.
I'm a quarter German.
Are you?
Hey, there you.
I'm not going to say your last name, but you do have it's an Italian last name, isn't it?
Married.
Okay. Okay.
She's a
not
Smith
Italian
before
myself.
she was married,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
The American
My husband tells me that I married him for the food.
And did you?
For the food exposure. I don't know. I mean, that is my favorite food.
Oh, okay.
Italian food is the best. It really is.
Well, I bet up in that corner of the world or United States with all the Italian immigrants out there, you got a lot of really good stuff. We only get like Olive Garden and stuff down here, so we don't get anything good down here.
No. There's really good stuff. There are places like I was telling Jason earlier. There's like a place nearby that they make like fresh ravioli. And you can get any kind of ravioli, like lobster ravioli, sun-dried tomato ravioli, like everything. And then they make fresh semolina bread. Oh my, I just like, you go there and just like you walk in through the door and you just inhale and it's like, oh my God. It's like heaven.
Gain 5 pounds just from inhaling.
Gain 5 pounds and they don't have prices on anything. So like you leave there and it's like 80, 90, $100. Like for
well,
like
I mean,
nothing.
They're making things from scratch, so you're going a little bit if you're knowing that part of it. And it sounds a little bougie with lobster ravioli, you know. And at first I thought
sausage bread.
I thought you said salmonella bread at first, and I was like, that's not what she
Semolina.
said. I got confused, and I didn't want to say anything.
We're Southern girls down here. We don't know what this stuff is.
I hear what I want to hear sometimes, and that's just kind of what I heard. Now, did he ever take you to Italy? Did you ever get to visit?
No, but I'd like to.
Okay, well, 2030, go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make a plan now. Get your passport. We don't know how long, that would take. Just get money together and just go. I don't know.
That would be nice.
I'm trying.
I would love to just, if I was in Italy, I would love to just walk down a cute little cobblestone street and sit at a cafe and order everything off the menu and just sit there and watch people walk by.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Best
outside
thing
a
ever.
cute little table. I think I would love to just like do that the most for like the whole day or whatever.
Right.
I was about to say, if you don't, before you got on the podcast, she was telling me that she doesn't like, because Lisa's in New Jersey, but she's about, you said about 45 minutes outside of New Jersey City?
New York.
New York. Okay. She said it gets a little too.
New
What is the big city? Is it Jersey? What is it? Jersey City?
There is a Jersey City.
Is that the one right next to New York?
I think so. But I don't go there.
Or is that Newark?
There is a Newark also, yeah.
Okay.
But that's kind of like, it's not as nice as where I'm at. I'm more like in the suburbs.
Well, the whole point for that was Lisa was telling me that because she's so close to New York, she doesn't like going there because it's a bit claustrophobic with all the people. I was like, don't go to Rome, because Rome is, oh my God, is it jam-packed?
Well, any touristy place.
Yeah.
But if she finds like a little village in Italy where there's a vineyard every 5 minutes, and then they'll have a little cafe with all the different people's wines, and you just sit there and watch all the people walk by. Won't be as many because you won't be in a big city, but I mean, it's still people walk.
I will say, if you do get a chance to go to Verona. It's in northern Italy. We stopped there one time. It was really nice.
Were there a lot of people?
Yep. Not like Rome. but it was like right on a river. It had really pretty mountains and castles, and that's where Romeo and Juliet is set. So
that sounds so. Verona 2030. You gotta tell Jason to tell me if you did it or not.
Yeah, we'll all go together. How about that? We'll get Daniel.
Yeah. We'll go together. I mean, yeah, you give me a glass of wine, a piece of cheese, and I'm happy.
Heck
And some bread.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta have
Yes.
the bread.
Some salmonella bread.
Yeah. Salmonella bread.
That's what I thought she said.
All right, Miss Lisa, we are here to talk shit about our kids and have drinks. So what are we drinking, ma'am?
Sutter Home Pinot Grigio.
Heck yeah.
That's my go-to.
If during the summer I'm a Pinot Grigio kind of person, but during the winter I tend to like reds. And so I was walking around Walmart, Sutter Home, and the only Sutter Home I could find was either like 8-ounce bottles that I ended up buying, or the gallon jug, which I think you have. So
I was actually in Walmart today.
It's a plastic bottle.
yes, Sutter Home is not fancy wine.
This is the beach bottle.
Yeah.
The bottle you take to
Convenient.
the beach. Yeah.
But I like a good Pinot Grigio, so
Yeah, he likes his whites.
yes, I do.
I like my reds. I like a little color.
I like reds too, but the problem is, if you drink too much of it and you spill it, red is a lot messier.
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe in alcohol abuse, so I don't tend to spill in. I don't.
Oh.
No, I agree. That's what I was saying.
But your sounded
good.
very like sarcasm.
That was not
like,
sarcasm, my dear.
I was like, no, I really don't do alcohol abuse. Only when I'm pouring it on the counter, and then I can wipe that up.
Okay. See, I'm like kind of messy with everything I do. To the point when I wash my clothes, I don't put my shirts in the dryer because I usually have stains and like food particles, wine all drip down the front of them, and I don't want to bake it in. So I tell my husband, well, okay, when you wash my shirts, they can't go in the dryer, just because I usually, I don't want to bake that stain in, so I just put it on a hanger, and then I can notice it next time. Like, and every so often I'll treat them and put stain remover, and
Well, there you
it's
go.
just how it is.
There you go.
I'm messy in a different way. So, I'm messy with words.
I will say the only alcohol abuse Jennifer will do, though, is when so as part of the podcast, we try to do some like TikToks and YouTube shorts. So my father and stepmother-in-law got us a Costco wine advent calendar. So it's like 25 bottles, small bottles, a little bit bigger than the it's about twice as big as what I'm showing
So like
Lisa, which is probably
ounces.
it's about 2 glasses of wine, maybe 3.
Yeah.
And they have all been so nasty. Like
or drinkable, but like if you're at a party and it's the end of the night and you're already feeling really, really good, then you can drink them with no problem, but not like starting out drinking.
Yeah. They're not good.
So yeah, I used to in the beginning of those videos be like, alcohol abuse, I gotta just chug this thing. And then I was thinking about it, I was like, well, hell, I didn't pay for it. I don't like it, and I'm getting older and I want what I want. So Jason, if you want it, here you go. If not, let's just, because if we weren't doing it for the YouTube and TikTok, no.
Yeah, the podcast.
Right? The podcast. They probably would have already thrown it away because unfortunately, this was their second advent calendar box for Christmas. So yeah, I don't even know what happened to the first box. I think it was Christmas presents. People you don't like, here you go. Here's a nice bottle of wine.
Yeah. So if anyone ever offers to buy you a Costco wine advent calendar, just say no. They're not good. We've run across some mediocre ones, but they've just all been mostly bad. All right, ladies, we're going to take a small break and we'll be right back. And we're back. Wasn't that fun? So, all right, so we got our cocktails. So let's talk about our kids, Miss Lisa. And thank you so much for doing this. I've been bugging you about this for like a month now, and we've been trying to find time.
Yes.
So bring us back so you are married to a lovely Italian man. How did you two meet?
At a bar.
Ooh.
That's a good place to meet.
And now the bar is actually a go-go bar. It turned into a go-go bar afterwards.
Okay.
Now,
that
does sound fun, but I have it in my own mind what a go-go bar is.
I'm
What is
thinking LG.
Yeah, I'm thinking gay men dancing scantily clad on a box.
So-
what are you thinking?
Yeah, what is it?
Well, it's actually the same bar that they filmed Sopranos movie in.
Oh.
So I guess I'm giving more more information than I should. But on this, they used the same bar. Ooh, okay.
Uh-oh, did the
She
dog
almost
spill the
knocked
wine?
over my wine glass.
Oh, Lord.
No, not yet. She just jiggled it. So she used the my makeshift table as a launching pad to get onto the sofa. But anyway, yeah. So the bar that my husband and I met at, it was a rock club, and then it turned into a go-go bar, and then years later they used it in some of the Soprano show bar scenery. If you've seen it, I don't know if you've ever watched The Sopranos, but it was pretty good.
So what's the go-go part?
Yeah, what's the go-go part?
That's what we want. Like, is it like scantily men,
Is it
clad
strippers?
men dressed
Yeah,
in
strippers.
Oh, male or female?
Gentlemen's club.
female?
Girls strippers.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
That
Okay.
we wouldn't go to that.
Yeah. I think in the
Yeah,
South we
yeah.
would have called that a strip club or.
Yeah,
No.
strip club. Yeah.
I think it still would be a go-go bar.
No, she's saying that it's female strippers for men.
But I think it's... Do they have, like, the little boxes?
Well, I've never actually
Oh.
gone there
Okay.
since it's became that. So
'Cause I think,
can't
like,
say-
You need to go back.
Like, the go-go
But
part,
I
isn't
think
it? Like,
they used
them in
to-
cages
yeah.
and there's a person inside and...
all I could say is when I drove by, I think they had like a picture of a girl, like in bright lights flashing. That it was,
Is that how
girl,
you? Is that how your husband met you, Lisa?
Were you
Were you a dancer?
It was before it became that. But my husband loves to tell people that, oh yeah, we met at blah 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 blah, which is now the go-go bar. So then they like look at me. I'm like. Then he has to say, no, it wasn't a go-go bar then, blah, 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 blah. But, it was just a regular bar, but he just loves to, say that.
So how? When do we know what year this was? Approximately.
He makes you think a lot
Gesundheit.
with his questions, and I'm in love with your puppy that jumped on the couch with you. I love dogs, so
He's my
There's
puppy
two
wuppy.
There's two of them.
there's two
Yeah.
of them. Oh, they're matchy. Oh,
Yeah.
So for the listening audience, we were talking about
Aw.
something jumping and almost spilling the wine, and it was her puppies, and so I just had to say hi to her puppies.
They're so
'cause
sweet looking.
They are adorable.
They love me. They usually follow me wherever I go.
Hey, that means you're a great person then. I love you even more now, Lisa.
Thanks.
All right, so your
so
approximate time of you meeting at the go-go bar when he was putting dollars into your
it was a rock
cage.
club. I was 21, so we're talking
10 years ago.
35-ish years ago. Long time ago.
Wow.
Wow. Back in the Reagan administration. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
I have no idea. I didn't pay attention to politics then like I do now.
I don't think many 21-year-olds really pay attention
Yeah.
to politics. Well, back around that time, I should
okay,
say.
all I could say is back then, when I was first old enough to vote, I voted for Geraldine Ferraro because she was like the first female that was like running for
Yeah.
president or
Yeah.
some shit like that. Yeah,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
that's how long ago that was.
Hey, there you go. My first vote was for Bill Clinton. His first.
And I'm the youngest, so it says something. COVID messed my memory up, so that's, yeah.
Okay, so you met your husband 30-ish years ago, and how long were y'all dating before y'all got married?
It's a good question. Maybe 4 years, 5 years.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a blur.
And how long after y'all got married did y'all decide to have kids?
I waited until I was I wanted to be 30. I didn't want to have kids before 30. So
Smart
woman.
because you get to have fun.
And money.
And,
Yeah.
and, well, I don't know if you go to school, probably not have money, but you get to be a 21-year-old. You get to enjoy your 20. Go party it up, have fun, and then be 30.
Well, originally, I didn't even want to have kids, but my husband did, so he had to convince me because, I didn't have the best upbringing with my own family, so
You were scared.
for whatever reason, I was afraid.
Mhm.
My biggest fear, get this, so my biggest fear was I was afraid, because I saw a therapist about it, I was afraid I wouldn't love my own children, and that scared the bejesus out of me, because it's like, how do you know you're going to love somebody before they're there. And I
Right.
was just afraid I would be a bad parent. So that was like a big, issue I had to get over.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds like
But I
it.
got over it, and I love my kids,
Awesome. So when y'all decided to start trying to get pregnant, was it pretty quick, or did y'all have any troubles getting pregnant?
It was pretty quick. Like, I'd say within a year.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Like 9
awesome.
months, maybe.
And then 9 months later, there's a kid.
Like, what the hell do we do with it?
Right.
Can't give it back now.
There were times we would like pass her back and forth to each other. Okay, you watch her. I'm doing something. You watch her. We like pass her back and forth. And we used to have like we used to call it a spinner, like a little like play seat. You put them in a little seaty thing. They have like little toys around them. They can spin around like,
Oh, yeah.
So we would constantly put her in this, and it got to the point where she didn't like being put in it because she was confined. We'd go to sit her down in it, and her legs would go out sideways, so she could not go in it.
So she's kind of doing
So
the
we used to have to,
splits, trying not to
so we used to
sit
have to, like,
down.
Yeah, exactly. So we used to like have to put our arm around her body and like push her
Force
legs
her in.
down to get her to go into it, because like at that point, if you let her just on the ground and crawl around, she would get into something she shouldn't.
Mm-hmm. They tend to do that.
Now,
Yeah.
when you kind of like finagled her into it, was she good at that point? Like turning, and was she like
For a
engaging
little
with the
while.
little things on it?
Yeah, for a while, and then she'd get sick of it, and then she wanted attention or something.
Mhm.
She wasn't happy after a while.
They didn't have tablets back then where you could have just, put her in it with a tablet. She would have been fine all day.
Okay, so this is your eldest, and I know we're not supposed to talk about her too much, so we're going to skip on to the next one. So the next one was your son, right? Your middle son. Now, how old is he now?
He's 20.
So there was, if I remember correctly, your daughter's 26 and he's 20, so there was a 6-year gap in there?
Yeah.
Was that on
Yeah.
purpose?
Well, it took us it took us that long to realize we wanted to have another.
Oh,
We're
okay.
like, well,
We just got this one into school and out of diapers and out of daycare,
Yeah.
and now let's start all over again.
we figured, you need like a backup.
Yeah, that's what I tell my mom all the time. It's like, you got to have a backup kid in case you screw one up. The other one will take care of you in your old age.
I'm not having a backup.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah.
A backup is always good. And we loved her so much we wanted another one. So, we tried. I think that one took us a little bit longer.
Well, because you're
You would have been
then
like
35, right?
36.
Well, I was thinking of 9 months, so
Yeah, 36, and we probably had him like 30. I was 37. Yeah.
Okay. And how was that?
That's the bad word.
Well, no, I was just going to say, how was the pregnancy? Was that an okay, because you were
Sometimes-
7 years later?
All my pregnancies were difficult. I went into preterm labor with all of them, and I had to take special medication not to have them early. My doctor told me I had a very strange pregnancy and labor. I went fast. They wanted to come out early, and when I would go, like I would get, they would come out like, it was definitely under 24 hours,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I would have them. It was like, it'd be like, 5 hours later or 10 hours later after getting to the hospital. And my OBGYN said I would go from like nothing to being like fully dilated within an hour, which like kind of blew
Is
her mind.
unheard
Like
of.
that's not normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like to the point, like I remember one time I went to the hospital and I'm like, okay, I'm getting contractions. They're like, no, you're fine. Go home.
Like you're not
And I'm like,
dilated in any way.
like they didn't believe me,
Mhm.
and I was getting these like really strong labor contractions, and the hospital didn't believe me, and they put me on the phone with the doctor, and I told the doctor, I'm like, oh, I said, hold on, wait. I said, you have to give me a minute. I said, another contraction is coming on. I said, I cannot comprehend anything that you just said because I was having a contraction.
Mhm.
And then she knew I was like for real.
Right.
Because you
it
get
was
that pain.
So close together.
Yeah.
And
You get that pain and you just cannot, like somebody's talking to you and the pain is so intense, you cannot hear or comprehend or understand what somebody is saying to you while you're experiencing the pain.
You block it out.
Yeah.
It's well, you're not trying to block it out.
Right.
It just
It's
it
trauma.
occurs. Yeah.
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 So were they early? Were they early then?
Yeah, they were all early, and I was on preterm medication with all of them to stop, the early contractions, because otherwise I would have had them at like 7 months.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow.
Now, did any of them have to go to like the NICU or have any issues breathing with their lungs or anything like that? Well, that's good.
No, they were all good. They were just I think remember like them being like jaundiced in the beginning, like yellow skin, bilirubin, blah 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 blah, that type of thing. That wasn't anything major.
No,
it was minor.
You just said something I've ever heard.
Bilirubin?
Yeah, I've heard jaundice before, but I've never heard bilirubin before. What's that?
Oh, I think it's related somehow. Like I think maybe the level of the bilirubin causes the jaundice or something. I don't know.
Is that a disease? We're gonna have to Google that.
Not a disease. It's just I don't know. I mean, you could Google it and look it up.
It's like,
somehow related.
Never heard of that one. So
they used to say like put them in the sunlight.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of jaundice babies before, and I've definitely heard of putting them in the sunlight. But
yeah, my brother had jaundice, and they told us to put him under the fluorescent light because that helped more than the sunlight. This was 99, so I don't know if that was a different thing.
Yeah, well.
So it says here that newborns typically have higher bilirubin levels than adults due to the breakdown of fetal red blood cells. Physiological jaundice, a yellowing of the skin and eyes caused by elevated bilirubin, is common in newborns.
Learn something new.
There you go.
Yeah, I was thinking it was someone's name.
Yeah, there are bilirubins. That's why I was like, who's bilirubin?
And it's actually one word. So that really threw me off. So that's just a higher level in what your babies had than what maybe most jaundice babies have. Because it's typical for the babies to have jaundice, but not maybe like really bad.
I just remember I had to bring them back to like the doctors or the hospital like once a week or something to get like rechecked.
Yeah, Patrick wasn't that bad.
Yeah, my grandson has had to go back several times, but I don't think he has jaundice. Slightly not inappropriate, but like with Caucasian babies, it's pretty obvious to tell when they have jaundice. But my grandkids are all black. How do they tell if black kids have jaundice?
Eyes.
Oh, the eyes. Okay.
Well, because
they turn yellow. Yeah.
My brother's mixed, and his eyes were kind of yellowy.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's how they knew he had jaundice. I think that's how I knew he had jaundice because. He was a little mocha baby. I was like, you're the cutest baby in the world.
If we when we get done with the podcast, at least I'll go grab my grandson and show him. He's so precious. He's about 4 months old now.
And he's so advanced. He's holding his head up.
He's teething.
They already had to put rice in his milk. He's teething at 4 months. He is so advanced.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, stop.
I love babies.
But you don't want them to start doing all the older baby stuff. You want them to be as
young as
little
possible.
and young as possible all the time.
Well, speaking of young and beautiful, how were your so you had your 20-year-old obviously 20 years ago. Were y'all thinking you were going to try for a third? Because I know you have a third one, right? Or was he a new baby?
The third was a complete accident.
Do you tell him that?
We tell him we've told him that, but we tell him he's the greatest gift God ever gave us.
It's a happy accident.
There you go.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm surprised. My parents thought they were infertile. So.
I was surprised too.
I'm pretty sure I was surprised,
Your father, because he's a good dad.
Well, I mean, no, I think, because, like I said, I was made in Germany.
Hold on 1 second.
And
hey,
then
guys.
Born in Colorado, so.
Yeah, I'm on my podcast. You can come say hello if you want. So my boys are just coming in from outside. They're like, I'm like, all right, guys, remember I told you I'm on a podcast?
So how old were you when you had happy accident? Because I don't know.
He's 16 now, right?
18. Mikey.
Okay. Oh, so just 2 years after.
Yeah, 2 years. 39. So I could gladly say all my children were born when I was in my 30s.
Were the doctors
Which I think is perfect.
Yeah, no, that is perfect.
No, No, they weren't. Not
Okay.
really.
Because I know sometimes they
I mean,
get
they
worried
asked
when you start getting closer to 40, they start getting a bit worried.
a little bit. I mean, I had them do some extra like blood work or genetic testing, blah blah blah. But I wouldn't go for like the amnio thing. That's invasive or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just
Gotcha.
just the basics.
So they're
you know.
2 years apart, right?
The boys.
Actually, yeah,
Boys?
18 months.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then you went from
Right.
having a...
23 months. My math is messed up because of my glass of wine.
I don't do math, so I wouldn't have ever caught it. So
Cheers to the wine.
yeah. So you had a kid in school, and then you had a 2-year-old, and then accident happened. You had another baby in diapers. So how was that having, like a toddler and an infant in essence at the same time?
Well, we used to have a babysitter. And want to come over and say hello?
So for our listening audience, Lisa's, is this the youngest or the middle?
This is the middle son, Brandon. They can't see. And they're not, I mean, you're on video now, but they're not going to post the video. But anyway,
Tell them we said hi.
they said hi.
Hello.
I think all our waving told him that we were saying hi.
Well, he wasn't looking at us.
So, even before I had all three, I remember telling my husband, like, we need a babysitter. And we didn't know anybody. So one time I stalked the school bus. I found out what time the neighborhood high school bus got let off in our community. And I stalked a bunch of young girls in my car.
That's a little creepy,
Honest to
Lisa.
God.
I'm not gonna.
Honest to God.
That is hilarious.
And I looked at one that was like walking near our house. I said, hey, would you like to be a babysitter?
Do you like free candy?
Lisa, that is beyond strange.
I was desperate. Like, and as I told my husband, I'm like, we're either going to pay a babysitter or we're going to pay a therapist. your choice, because if I don't get a break once in a while, I'm going to need therapy.
And 20 years ago, that's a little different than now,
Yeah.
too.
Well, I was about to say, Jennifer used to babysit when she was 14, 13, something.
Yeah, 20 years ago. So I babysat 3 kids at one time, and one was a toddler. And I was 12 years old. And the oldest of the ones I babysat was 10. Like, why is a 12-year-old babysitting a 10-year-old? But he needed it. And I understand now why, because I have a 13-year-old that needs to be babysat. So it's just the way that the kid is.
Now,
but I look back, I would never let a 12-year-old babysit nobody. I mean, some you can leave by themselves, but I won't let them watch and be responsible for kids younger than them. It's such a different world now.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Yeah.
You have to know, who the person is.
You have to stalk their buses.
You have to stalk them, from the school buses. Yeah, definitely.
That's how desperate I was. I'm like,
Now, were you working at the time, or were you a stay-at-home mom?
I was generally always working. My prior job used to allow me to, I switched to part-time from full-time to part-time, and I was able to work from home back then.
Wow.
Yeah. That was one of the
impressive.
reasons I stayed with that company, because there were other coworker moms that were doing it. So like in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay here so I could get to do it too. And I did for like a few years on and off with the different kids.
Now, like I'm not going to name our industry, but we work in tech. Were you working back in tech back then?
Yes.
Okay.
It's still surprising 20 years ago.
Yeah, that is surprising.
In my head.
Well, they only gave me like a part-time thing, so I didn't get any benefits, or I didn't get the company bonus. I didn't get vacation, sick time.
Oh, that sucks.
So, yeah, but
But like, even though, what amazes me though is that like 20 years ago, I would have been 26. The internet had only been around for like 10, 15 years. And that's the impressive part to me, that they were set up enough to do that.
Well, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. So.
You know what's amazing?
What?
When I was a kid growing up, we had a set of encyclopedias. And if you wanted to like find out something about something, that's what you had to look to find out the answer to something.
Yep,
I tell this to my kids all the time. Now we have Google, and you could it's amazing because you could ask anything. Like, I remember one time, like, researching, like, with one of my kids, I'm like, why is my kid's earwax bright orange? Like, that's not normal. But yet, they said it was. But that's not something you would normally ask, like, a friend.
Nice.
Like, does your kid have orange earwax? Because that's a disgusting thing. But when you have Google and nobody's around to see what you're asking, you could just ask it and find out.
Well,
sometimes people have disgusting orange earwax.
I mean,
and that's normal.
If that's the most disgusting thing that your kid has, I think you're lucky. Because that would not surprise me. Bright orange earwax is not disgusting to me when I found a Gatorade bottle full of pee in my son. So that...
What?
Yeah. See?
Yep.
Yeah. There's always something worse. But yeah, encyclopedias were our Google.
Lazy.
And
just lazy.
Yeah. He didn't want to get up. He's addicted to his tablet and Roblox.
And if he does not get it, he becomes a tyrant and gets into even more trouble than he normally does.
Yeah.
So what does he do when he has to poop?
When he has to poop?
I guess he holds it.
Oh, well, so,
does he like crap in a bottle?
No, he doesn't flush. Is what he does.
Poop is, like I said, we always talk about poop because that is a funny subject. What he tells me is he holds it all day and holds in his fart. And as soon as he gets into my car, he fart. And then we have to go home so that he can poop.
Oh my God.
Yep. And then if I have to like go to the store real quick, he goes poops in the store's bathroom. But he still farts all the fucking car, and I fucking and I'm like, can you not just fart like when you're outside before you get into the car and just kind of wave in front of your butt so you don't bring it in? No, because there's people there. Well, there's someone in this boxed up car with you as well. No respect. He gets... I get no respect. And then the other day we were talking and I was like, I don't do it to you. And he's like, wait, you fart? And I'm like, everybody farts. Everybody poops.
No. Females and moms don't fart.
But I'm like, I'm respectful with my fart. I try to do them in the bathroom where I feel like you're supposed to do them. And if I can't, I'm walking away. And like, don't follow me because you might not like it if we're in some place that's a lot of people or whatever. I
gotta ask a question.
Sure.
Have you ever been like in an elevator by yourself and you have to fart? And you do.
No.
And as soon as you leave the elevator, like 5 people go in behind you. And you're like, oh my God, those poor people.
I have a very distinct memory of high school because I would catch the public bus in Austin from my school to go to some after school thing. And I remember I was waiting inside the foyer where because it was a private school. So it was K through 12. And I was waiting in this foyer where the elementary kids, school kids would exit the building. And I was just sitting there waiting for my bus to arrive. I ripped ass. And I was like, oh, that's a stinky one. And this line of kindergartners walked right through my cloud. And I was just like, and someone the teacher was like, oh, Lord, why y'all fart?
In kindergarten, be like, did one of y'all shit y'all's pants?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
No, I've never done that. I'm more of a burper than I am a farter. I don't know why, like some people, it comes out one end more than the other, but that's really true. I mean, yes, I fart, but I burp more than I fart.
Lisa, have you ever crop dusted someone?
I'm not used to that terminology, but I'm pretty sure it's yes. One time I cleared my classroom when I was in elementary school.
Atta girl. I knew we were friends for a reason.
I was so embarrassed.
Did they know it was you?
Not officially, but I'm sure they suspect it. So I was in elementary school. I'm trying to think what grade. 4th, 5th? I don't know, somewhere like that, right?
Older. Okay.
And the girl behind my desk, jumps up and she goes, oh my God! And she has her hand over her mouth and she jumps up. And the teacher looks at her. She goes, sit back down. She goes, no. She goes, it's horrible. And then, I turn my head. And then everybody else starts jumping up. out of their seats. And I'm like, oh my God, is this me? Like, so then I jump up too, and I pretend like I'm astonished and shocked too, even though I know it's myself. And I'm thinking, oh my God, please don't let anybody know that was me. I didn't know it was gonna smell so bad. I jump up too, and I go in the crowd like I'm surprised.
Oh my
right?
God.
And the teacher was upset because everybody's jumping up out of their seats.
Right.
We're supposed to be like, I don't know, taking a test or something. Right. So she charges forward to yell at us some more, and all of a sudden it hits her. And she stops dead in her seat. She puts her hand over her nose and she points to the window and she goes, "Open the window!"
What the hell did you eat?
And she goes, "Everybody," she goes, "get on the other side of the room. Open all the windows." And I'm just like, oh my God, please don't let anybody know that it was me.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, Lisa, that's the funniest thing.
I was mortified. I had no idea of my potency back then.
Good.
And I was a third grader.
I mean,
But it was hysterical thinking about it now.
right. But mortifying at the time because that could follow you through all your grades. You just made him snort. That's a good sign right there.
I had to pee my pants.
He had to cross his legs so he didn't pee his pants.
I could still see the expression on my teacher's face.
Yeah.
And she was a stern teacher. And she was pissed. Everybody was jumping up at her. Their
But then
seats.
she realized why.
And she jumped forward. And then she caught a whiff. And she's like, "Open the window! Now!"
What died in here?
Oh my! Many a car trip with my father, I would fart, and he'd be like, "Do I need to pull over so you can wipe your butt?" I'm like, "No, I just had a fart."
Well, I've told Wesley since I adopted him, so that's like, what, 5 years? Like, you say excuse me after you fart. That lets people know that you farted. And he's like, why? I was like, because, first off, it is good manners. It lets people know. And SPDs are the worst farts in the fucking world. You think you're getting away with something, but they smell the worst. The silent but deadly ones, that's why they're called that. Because for some reason, they're stinkier, I think, than like the one that's like a brrr and you know it's coming. They don't smell as bad as the silent ones.
Yeah. I try to be polite too. Like if I'm in the car with my family, I'll crack the window down. And then my husband will be like, "Why do you keep opening the window?" I'm like, "Okay, you don't want me to open the window? All right." Surprise.
And then of course he's like, "Oh my God, what is that? Open that window."
Because you're a lady,
and then you're
Lisa.
transported back to third grade and it's a trauma all over again.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
Gosh, but yeah, I don't do it around him, but it's like as soon as he gets in the car with me, no holds bar and just let's it out.
But I don't even know how you could hold a fart. I mean, when you have to fart, you have to fart.
That's
it's not like something you could really hold.
I think he does.
For me, I don't know.
Now because he's a little asshole, he just does it on purpose now.
Yeah, I never hold mine. But, well, I hold mine if I'm in like in a place where I can't, like an inappropriate
Yeah, but
place.
you hold it for like 5 seconds to walk somewhere else to fart because you can't, like, when that urge comes.
It's
I don't know how to like.
I mean,
pop
it's
it
gonna
back up.
seep out
Yeah.
It's gonna seep.
slowly. It's gonna find.
And then the whole room is gone.
Oh my God, y'all are making me die. Oh, okay.
Back on track.
Back on track.
All
All right. So you got a 6-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 0-year-old. How was so we won't get into too much specifics, but how was the eldest as a big sister? Was she like completely disinterested in having younger brothers, or?
Oh, she was thrilled. She was so happy.
Aww.
So she helped with the
Yes.
the young
Yes.
babysitter.
She was like a little mommy.
Oh, precious.
Now the babysitter was that like night or weekends, or because you said you followed the school bus and found her?
Yeah. Yeah, like usually like a week on the weekend, like my favorite thing, I guess, like a Sunday afternoon dinner thing. We'd go out to dinner,
Like
for
date for
whatever.
you and your husband?
Yeah, like a 3 hour thing. So, and I would always be good. I would buy a pizza. I would have like mac and cheese set up or get like a rotisserie chicken. I would always like make sure I had food for the babysitter just so like I could be sure she would come back.
Well, I mean, that's the smart thing to do. Yeah. You spoil the
Yeah.
babysitter so they stay.
Yes.
Yeah, seriously.
Yes.
Because
we
you
agreed
don't
on
want to
it,
deal
like-
with those kids for those 3 hours or get a call 30 minutes in. You just got to the restaurant and you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, like whatever, like I remember whatever price we had agreed on at the time, I would always round it up too to the nearest, like, $5 or $10 because I wanted her to come back. Oh, did I lose you guys?
No, we can see you.
We can see you.
Okay.
Yeah,
The video.
the video will
glitched out for a
glitch out a little
second.
bit, but we can still hear you.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
because like I said, it was either a therapist. It was either a babysitter or I'd have to see a therapist.
No,
Because I just needed, you need a break. Kids are tough. You need a break.
they are horrendously tough. Now, did you have any familial support? Was your your husband's family nearby to like watch him?
My parents were in Florida at the time. So we really didn't have anybody. My husband had my husband's mom helped a little bit in the beginning years, but she's a little bit loopy, so we couldn't really rely on her.
Gotcha.
well, I always think it's funny because you keep saying it was either a babysitter or a therapist. And then earlier in our conversation, I had a therapist. So it wasn't either. It was both.
Sometimes you need both.
Yeah. Well, I did.
I was just being silly.
I think a therapist throughout different points in a person's lifetime is very healthy. And the initial therapist I saw was for my own understanding as to why I was opposed to having kids in the first place, because that's kind of unnatural.
No.
So I was exploring that avenue. Like, why was I hesitant to have kids? And it stemmed back to like my own childhood and blah, 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 not feeling valued as a child, growing up in not the best circumstances. And, it bottomed, the biggest fact-finding thing I had was my therapist asked me, did you play with like dolls, like baby dolls when you were a child? And I said, no. I said, I played with Barbie dolls. I like Barbie dolls, but I didn't like baby dolls. And she's like, why? So then we explored it. And it just turned out I didn't value babies because I didn't feel valued as a baby myself. So in that, my biggest fear was I was afraid I was going to be a bad mother by not loving my own child, which is a weird thing, but it's astonishing when you think about it,
I'm sure a lot of people have that fear of that because it is, you don't know. You don't know them.
Yeah.
You
like,
feel them for 9 months, so you kind of, they know your voice. They know you, but until they come out, you don't know them. But now I have to go to therapy because I didn't have baby dolls or Barbies. I had G.I. Joes.
I had Barbies. And I love them.
And I'm a tomboy, so, but yeah, I love babies.
I was a tomboy too.
But I don't think I walked around and, took care of babies until I was 10 and 12.
Now, how was their growing up? Like, your daughter's obviously been much older, but was she the built-in babysitter as she got older, or did you not ask her?
Yeah, but kind of comes into play. Yeah, once she gets older, she becomes in charge of the babysitter.
Yep. What about your sons? How were they? Usually the biggest challenges are like junior high and late high school. Those are always like the big. How were the kids for them?
Yeah.
Puberty, hormones, that time.
I could tell you, for girls, 8th grade is absolutely horrible. 8th grade girls are really mean and cruel, manipulatively cruel. Like, and I can't really get into detail with it, but like I remember my daughter being close friends with some people, and who she thought were her closest friends, and them telling her, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go. We're all gonna go trick or treating. Later tonight." Blah blah blah. And she's like, "Okay, what time?" They're like, "Okay, we're gonna go at 11 p.m." And so she tells us this, and I'm like, "Honey," I'm like.
Everybody's asleep
no
at
one
11 o'clock. No one has their lights on.
People
Yeah.
People don't go trick-or-treating at 11 p.m. I said, if somebody knocked at my door at 11 p.m., I'd kind of be pissed.
I'd call the cops.
I said, so that, yeah, and, it was just tough. It was just, girls are mean. They're, it's different. Boys are they could be mean, but they're more like straightforward. Like, somebody will punch somebody else or something like that. But girls just kind of like dig in more, and they're manipulative. So that's what's cruel with girls.
No, boys can do that.
Yeah.
They can.
If they're
the smart ones.
The little gay ones.
Well, I know. I'm thinking of, I'm like, Wesley's very narcissistic. So, like, he knows how to play on things like that. I feel bad because middle school and elementary school is really, I found my people in middle school, but it was still really rough. I got bullied a lot, but it was face-to-face bullying. And I don't know how kids deal now with anonymous bullying because of all of the social where kids tell themselves to go kill themselves. Like, it's
terrible.
Back in the day, there was none of that. So it was face to face, or my friend said this person said this about you, but it was never on a screen. And so many comments were just everybody and their mom up. I
think it's worse now.
Yeah, I don't know how they would get through that.
I was about to say, you probably dealt with both, since your daughter's 26 and your youngest son is 18. So I would imagine.
I'm 43.
No, but like, as dealing as a parent right now, I would imagine Lisa's probably dealt with the older kid dealt with face-to-face bullying, and the younger one probably dealt with some online bullying, if at all.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about the girls in 8th grade for her daughter. That's just where I was.
Yeah, I'd say the online bullying was, even with all of them.
Yeah.
So how were the boys during like middle school and their puberties? Were they little terrors?
I'd say for the most part they were good. I didn't have a lot of issues, but maybe they were more quiet about it, but they were good.
You didn't have,
for the most part.
Did you find socks that could stand on their own?
I'm not sure what that means.
Masturbation, nasty stuff.
No.
Apparently that I did not know about boys until I adopted a boy, and Jason was like, just wait, it gets worse than pee on your bathroom floor because they don't want to aim right. And I thought that was nasty. And then now he's like, socks that will stand up on their own. And
you'll be able to crack your towels in half.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Maybe your husband took care of that.
They take more frequent showers.
Oh, okay.
They probably do it in the shower, which is probably better.
Okay, they've got.
That's all I could.
They're young gentlemen.
Yeah. They're 18 and 20 now. So 18, is he still in high school or is he graduated?
He just graduated this past June.
Okay, and is he college bound? Not college bound? Taking a year off, type of thing?
I'm sorry. None of my kids are college bound. I have no money.
Hey,
what are you apologizing
college
for?
Bound. Yeah, I mean,
you don't gotta apologize for nothing.
I think you have to really know what you want to be when you grow up to go to college, because people spend way too much money, and then when they get whatever they decide, and then they're like, well, I don't know if I really want to do that, or they can't find a job in that said field. It's not a 18-year-old to decide, I don't think.
Yeah. Mike's son hadn't even graduated high school, so we're fine.
And I'm 43 and just got my associates this year. So, because I took care of I decided to, instead of go to college, take care of my brother because he was born 3 months after I graduated high school. So I didn't want a babysitter for a newborn because I heard too many stories. So I helped raise him until everybody has their stories. You got to figure out what you're going to do. So do they have any thoughts? Like what they want to be when they grow up kind of thing? Are they still like me, Peter Pan syndrome, or?
They're not really too sure.
Are they having a failure to launch at the moment?
maybe the one.
Which one's the one?
Which one's the one? The middle or the youngest?
Well, I would. Yeah, so I would think, the middle one, because
He's got it made
my
right
husband
now, living at Mama's.
my husband will say, "You're not living with us when you're 30, so you better figure something out."
And he's like, "Oh, I got 10 years, so I'll wait until I'm 29 and figure it out."
What about your? I won't go too specifics, but about your daughter? Was she college bound, or is she working now, or?
She had she wasn't sure what she wanted to do, and then she wound up going to like makeup school in Manhattan.
Wow.
And she used to take the train there, and then after that she got a job at like a place that just sells makeup, but she found that she was better at like managerial positions, so she has kind of evolved to that.
Oh, that's
awesome.
cool.
But she's happy and she's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, do the 18 and the 20-year-old have jobs?
One is a lifeguard, and one had a job but got laid off and was collecting unemployment.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. But so lifeguard, that's not year round in New Jersey, I'm sure. So
but he found a lifeguard position at a gym that has an indoor pool.
well, that's smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good.
And the older one, my daughter used to be a lifeguard, so it kind of trickled down.
So he was like, "Oh, I like that. I get to be in a pool."
Well, yeah, you just have to do some training, pass some tests, and then basically you just get paid there. Get paid to sit there and not really do anything.
Watch people.
Yeah.
I don't think I would want to be a lifeguard. I would be bored.
But then you could
because you can't play on your phone because you have to pay attention.
If somebody sees you,
Oh, okay.
I mean, I would never want to be a lifeguard at like the beach. That's really being a lifeguard.
Well, then you can be all like Baywatch, do the slow-mo run, and have. Well, I don't really have any boobs, but a little bit of boobs bouncing as I'm running. No, I don't.
Did you pronounce that correctly?
What
was that? Baywatch or Babe Watch?
Oh,
I think you mean Babe Watch. Yeah, because I remember that. My husband used to like that show.
I bet he did.
Yeah, I would never want to be definitely a lifeguard on the beach because I don't go
That's serious shit.
Well, I don't go into the ocean very far. There's too many things in there that can hurt, and so I love water over my toes, and I'm very German Irish, so very pale skin, and I burn very easily, so give me shade and alcohol, and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. But some beaches don't allow you to drink alcohol on the beach.
Well, I just don't go to that beach then.
Yeah.
At least I made her smile on that one. Well, now they have wine in a can, and you can bring the can of wine to the beach instead of bottles.
We're not supposed to.
But they don't know. Hell, I funneled Jägermeister on a boat. I don't think they really pay attention.
I don't know. You have to be careful. Like the beach that we go to, they have cops walking up and down, and we've actually seen somebody getting arrested.
Well, your
on the
beach
beach for having like a can of beer
on the on the opposite end of where I was. I was in Florida. Yeah. Florida's weird, so they don't really care.
I was about to say Miss Lisa has herself a beach house, or is it? It's not a beach, right? It's just in Florida.
Yeah, it's not a beach house. It's my parents' house in Florida. They're deceased, so it belongs to me and my siblings, and that's where we're gonna be moving soon.
Oh, really?
Into.
You're going to leave the kids in New Jersey? Like, y'all stay here.
Yeah.
Atta girl.
We said 30, but we lied. It's until we move. Start packing your shit. It's either out of my house or it's in, somewhere else.
I'm sure they're coming with us.
Yeah.
But,
did they do that? I mean, that's a huge culture shock, Florida and New Jersey.
Yeah.
But I would imagine Lisa's been going down there for years now.
Yeah.
I was thinking more for ways being 18 and 20.
I mean,
well, they have their choices, you know.
Well, I mean,
it's up
if
to
you
them.
go to Florida and you have a house near a beach, then lifeguard is happy and will most likely get a job.
So because they're 18 and 20 and 26, since you're so close to being an empty nester, are you getting excited or nervous or sad?
I haven't really thought about it so much. You know, it's like we're all in the house together now, but I kind of feel like they generally avoid us.
Best kind of
unless
kid.
I'm like unless I'm cooking food or something, and like
sat next. My son would never do that.
That was sweet.
That was wicked.
That was sweet.
Yeah,
that was sweet. That's not the norm, though.
Oh, okay.
Usually it takes like me cooking he was showing off.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually it's like if I cook a package of bacon, I'm pretty much guaranteed to see them.
And maybe even get a hug out of that,
bacon,
right?
and it lures them out of their room. Like, ooh, you're cooking bacon? Ooh, can I have some eggs and whatever too, or pancakes? But yeah, they kind of keep to themselves, and I respect that.
They're adults,
want their own,
quote unquote.
Legally.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that because
legally
they're adults, but.
So what are the plans when they do, you finally do become an empty nester? Are you going to go travel the world, go on cruises?
I don't think so. I don't have the money for any of that crap.
You will when you're an empty nester. You won't pay for kids.
I was about to say,
bacon.
I was about to say your house in New Jersey probably is $4 million with all the inflation and housing costs up there.
I don't think so. Oh, no.
Well, I was going to ask if they were going to be snowbirds, like Florida, Jersey.
I would love to. I would love to be snowbirds, but we can't afford to have two places.
I got it.
So it's kind of one or the other.
Yeah. Maybe later down when you win the lottery.
There you go.
Maybe. Yeah.
Or you don't have kids living with you because kids are wicked.
Well, since your daughter now, so I'm not trying to bring her up too much, but
you brought her up so much, Jason. I've done so well.
Shut up.
I have been the best host ever.
Shush your mouth, both you ladies.
Yes, you
I
have,
will not.
Jennifer.
You cannot tell me what to do, sir.
I can say it.
I mean, you
didn't
can
say you're
say
going to
it.
do it, but are you excited about possibly being a grandmother?
Oh, I'd love to be. Yeah, I'd love to have grandchildren. Absolutely.
You're going to be a nona or a nana?
Love it. Yeah. Whatever they want to call me,
if
it's
she's
fine
in
with
Florida,
me.
it's probably
really
depends on the baby, but nanas are the South.
Yeah, but if she's married to an Italian family, she'd be a nona.
Yeah.
But if they teach the child that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like out of all my siblings.
Yeah, what's up, Lisa?
Sorry.
What's up?
I just gotta run to the toilet.
Yeah,
real
go
quick,
for it. Go
'cause I
for it.
drank
We'll
too much
pause.
wine.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll leave you hanging.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hello,
Okay,
so I'm back.
So the last question was we were talking.
About being a nona,
a
nana,
nona or a nana.
or you're German, so an uma.
Oh, she's a quarter, so I don't know how much she decides a quarter's worth.
Yeah, you're just ready to be a grandmother.
Whatever they want to call me would be fine by me.
But you can be like when they're babies. Oh, hey, I'm Oma, or I'm Nona, or I'm Nana, or I'm Lisa, and you ain't. I'm too young to be a grandma, so you ain't finna call me grandma. There's people out there like that.
Well, look at Jason. He's a grandpa.
True.
You're way too young to be a grandpa.
That's true.
I think.
I had my babies young.
Because he decided to adopt a 17-year-old and a 20.
Yeah.
When did you adopt her? 22, 24?
22.
22. So it was easy.
We were. It was talking about having grandkids. I was at a meeting with with Lisa and I's customers at their home base, I would say, and I was complaining about my old eyes, and everyone there was like, "You're not that old." I was like, "I have more artificial hips or more artificial joints and grandchildren than everybody in this room." So y'all need a hug.
Yeah, but your artificial hips has nothing to do with age. That to do with flesh eating disease was.
So Miss Lisa just dragged her sweet Australian Shepherd up into her lap. Oh, he's so sweet.
I want to play with my.
What's their names?
Her name is Catfish.
Catfish? Oh.
Okay, there has to be a story behind this because I don't.
I think it's her eyes. I didn't name her that. I got her when she was 6 years old.
You can change
that was
the
her original
name, right?
I know, but At 6 years old, I kind of thought that would be cruel, you know? That was her name, so I just kept it.
You just said Caddy or Kathy. Anything like close to it would have been okay.
What's the other one's name?
I call her...
I'm sorry.
What's that?
I was saying you were calling her. You call her Kitty. Is that what you were going to say?
I call her Katie Fish.
Okay.
My girly girl, like, you know, I got like little nicknames for her.
What about the other one? The other dog's name?
We agreed to Bear or Little Bear, but we really just call him Puppy because we got the two of them together and he was the puppy at the time.
Aww.
So even though we named him Bear, we just call him Puppy.
That's precious.
Are they siblings since you got them at the same time, or did you just happen to get them at different ages, like, and just got them at like someplace?
Okay, so the story was one of her kids was having difficulty in school, and we thought having a dog would make that child feel better and just kind of cope, because pets are good for kids. So we got the pet, the dog, and we had him for 2-3 years. You know, he's wonderful, good dog, whatever. And at one point in time, he found his way to an empty bag of Doritos in one of the kids' rooms, and stuck his face in the bag to eat the Doritos.
Did he get his face stuck in
He suffocated.
Yeah, he got his face stuck in the bag of Doritos and wound up suffocating himself.
We
were all extremely devastated
about that, and this is now the 4th story this year that I've heard about that. I never, 43 years, ever heard about that happening.
You would think a dog would know to push it off their face or whatever, but like it seals around their face, it suffocates them. It happened in 5 minutes. He was hanging out with me and hanging out, and whatever happened, it was horrible. We were all devastated. So then we went back to the same puppy farm place, breeder, and we told them we wanted another dog we would love if they were related somehow. So it was the same dogs, the fathers, so they had the same father, whatever. But then, we were buying the puppy or whatever, and right before the puppy was going to be delivered from Illinois to New Jersey, they said, "Oh, okay, well, we have your original dog's mom. She's not breeding anymore. If you want her, we could give her to you for just a couple $100." And so, I broke out in tears, and I said, "Yes." I said, "Please give me my, dog's mom. I would love to have her." So we got the two together.
Now, this wasn't a puppy mill, was it?
These are breeders.
No. Okay. This was just a farm, a beautiful farm in Illinois that breeds Australian Shepherds. And that's where we got the original one from. And when he died, we went back there and we, wanted another, and we wanted one that was related, a sibling or, so... Our new what we call puppy, it was like a half sibling because the mother stopped breeding, but then they gave us the mother,
and then
as
you
well,
had probably the dad of the.
No, they had the mom and the.
No, I'm saying the dad probably gave to another mama, and then that's where the half sibling.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So they got the mama.
They have the same. Yeah.
And then they got the baby, but they're not related. But they were related to the past, right?
Yeah, they have the same. Yeah, both puppy dogs we got had the same father.
Yeah, that's right. I got it.
But different mothers.
He's just been drinking too much, and when he does that, he don't.
It didn't compute.
Well, I heard puppy farm, and that got. That's why I had to ask.
I didn't mean like a mill farm. It just meant it was like a farm. They have farm animals there too.
And it's not a cage with never seen grass and all the horror stories.
No, they run free.
Right. Yeah. I get it now. I just had for my own sake, so I can still say I love you.
Would you have said you don't love her if it had been a puppy mill?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I love my animals, but the reason why I was like, you can always change their names is because I had an Australian Shepherd. No, sorry. You said yours isn't an Alaskan Malamute German Shepherd mix.
Oh, okay.
And her name was Marla. And I don't know if you've ever seen the movie A League of Their Own.
Oh, the baseball?
Yeah.
Girls
the
baseball?
Softball, yeah.
Marla was the ugly one.
Yeah,
was
with
the ugly
Madonna
one.
and Gina Davis.
Mhm.
There's no crying in baseball.
Right.
That's the one.
So Marla was the ugly one that they like tried to pretty. She's all that to her, and then she ended up getting married. I didn't like that name. And I had a Bailey so I'm German Irish, so I got Bailey on St. Patrick's Day, and I was like, I gotta come with an Irish name, but I couldn't pronounce the majority of them, and so I was like, okay, Bailey's Irish Cream, bam, that your name is Bailey now.
I think that has to be like the most popular dog's name, Bailey, and it is
girl's
perfect.
name right now. I have so many friends are like, oh, my daughter's name is Bailey, and I'm like, do I say my dog was named Bailey because I don't want to offend?
My granddaughter has 3 friends named Bailey.
And I mean, I love.
Oh, wow.
Bailey was my baby, and then I got Marla because she wasn't being taken care of. She was outside all the time in Alabama heat, and if you're 2-coated Alaskan Malamute German Shepherd, you do not need to be outside. And I spoil them. So I was trying to find a German name because the German, and I couldn't find any good M's because I was trying to keep it similar. But my two of my favorite, they're tied. Fifth Element and Friday are my 2 favorite movies, and Mila Jovovich is in Fifth Element. So I was like, Marla and Mila sound so similar. You're Mila now.
Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Fifth Element used to be one of my favorite movies too, with the red hair and Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Multipass.
Love
Mila
that
Dallas
movie.
Multipass. Yeah.
Yep.
So her name is Mila, and I was like, okay, you're named Mila now because it's so close to Marla. Easy transition, and she
Mila,
was
Marla, yeah.
And then I changed her name. That's why I was like, you can, change as long as you can try to find. That's where I was going with that. But
you keep Catfish's name just the way it is.
Or
it's
Catty Fish, or
Katie, I call you
Katie
Fish.
Fish, sorry.
Just
I'm Catty, so
there you go.
Katie.
Okay, ladies, this will be our last break for the show. Thanks for being so patient. And we're back again. All right, Miss Lisa. Well, I think we're at a good transition spot. So, for all our loyal 20 listeners, we're not doing a snack time this time because
the kids ate all of the Halloween candy that we were going to do.
Yes, and we are recording this, even though this episode will come out in probably 3 weeks. We're recording this on November 9th. So we're big fat piggies for eating all the Halloween candy.
Well, we had to because the election's over.
Yeah. So we're not going to have a snack time, but we're going to have a story time. So Miss Lisa, before we started recording, we asked you to hold on to a funny or embarrassing story about your kids or yourself. So do you have a good story time for us?
I do. I have a few in mind. Which one should I tell? So earlier today, I asked my youngest son, do you recall any funny, things I could say? And he reminded me of one that I had forgotten about. So, story is, we were invited over our church pastor's house for an afternoon barbecue, maybe 15 years ago. Okay. We were an outdoor picnic thingy or whatever. And so he was 3, 4-ish at the time, and we're just outside hanging out. You could see the kids in the distance. They're kind of within the backyard, playing, safely or whatever. And I'm talking to the pastor, really nice guy, awesome guy. And we're chatting in this net, and all of a sudden my kid starts crying, and I could see him crying. And I'm thinking to myself, why is he crying? And I'm just okay, I'm I'm in the middle of a conversation here, so all right, he'll be fine, so I'm talking to the pastor or whatever about this and that. And the kid is just crying more and more and hysterical. It's just, there are kids playing all around him. Nobody's harassing him. Nobody's doing nothing. And he's just standing there getting worse and worse and worse, and just hysterical cry. So I'm like at that point, like, is the kid gonna be okay? Like, what? Like, nobody's bothering him. I don't understand why he's crying. I'm trying to be engaged in this conversation, So then finally, I'm like, all right, all right, my kid's crying. I gotta go over there. So apparently, he was standing on top of an ant hill, and he was covered up to his head with these big, huge, gigantic ants that were crawling all over him.
And he wasn't running?
And I was just like, he froze. He freaked out. He was afraid to do anything. So he just stood there and just started to cry hysterically.
Were they biting him or just crawling on him? Like, was it a red ant?
I think they were just crawling on him. I think they were big black ants.
Okay.
They're just crawling on him. Yeah.
As a mom,
and
I
he
guess,
just froze because he didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't understand it. I could see him and he looked fine. Nobody was like bothering him. And I just didn't understand it. And I think he was still wearing pull-ups. I remember like picking him up and pulling him away and like looking under his like t-shirt because it was like summertime and just like slapping all these ants off of him, his shirt and his legs. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm thinking, what if they got in his like underwear or his pull-ups?
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a bad parent. Almost, So that was his devastation.
So I will say that's scary for anybody. You also learned if he is fight, flight, or freeze. And he is freeze, in responses to fear. Because everybody has, like, one. Like, I'm a fighter.
Yeah, I would think, like, if it was me, I would have ran. Like, it was something, like, it's uncomfortable, you run.
But you now know, even at that really young age, that he's a freezer. Like, he just... Stop, right? But I will have to say, making a whole classroom have to go to the windows is still my favorite story. And I would have been like, Pastor, let's walk and talk to my son because we got to figure out what the fuck is going on. Well, probably not fuck in front of a pastor, but what the heck
I
is
wanted
going on?
to, but like...
Yeah. Because you're trying to have a conversation, but then you're like...
Oh, you froze.
In your head, you're like...
We can still see you.
What's going on? Why are you not moving? Why are these kids not saying anything? Did someone hit you?
I
what?
saw it behind me, and I'm watching it. I'm like,
it's crazy.
And it didn't make any sense because nobody was bothering. He was just crying. I'm like, what's wrong? What's his problem? This shouldn't be. And like, I never thought there's a bunch of ants attacking him.
I mean, I would never have thought that either.
Yeah,
Stop, drop, and roll or something. Like, run to me. What's going on?
A mother's guilt is endless, but I will say, like, if my granddaughter would have flipped out the second she saw an ant, but I would have done the same thing, Lisa. If Clea was just sitting there crying for no goddamn reason, I'd be like, "Fuck is wrong with this kid?" I wouldn't have thought it. That was like,
but not to the pastor.
Yeah, not to the pastor.
Thought it, but not said it out loud. Yeah. Very first time I ever met Kalia. 4th of July, we had a great time in the county. We get to shoot fireworks, so we brought her out to a friend's house. And then all of a sudden, Jason's like, okay, we're going to go. And they pull out of the driveway and they stop, and I just hear bloody murder. And I don't know what's going on. And they're in their car, so I'm like, they're not moving. And it turns out, what was it, a moth?
Yeah, a moth had landed on her tablet screen, and she threw it across the car, and she started screaming. And even still today, she gets freaked out by bugs.
But she's not as bad.
She's not.
She's getting better.
Yeah. So does your this was the 18-year-old that had the ants on him?
Yeah.
I like 3.
Does he
3 or 4
does he have a bug phobia now?
He does.
Yeah, I would imagine he does.
Yeah, he does. He especially the ones that kind of like centipede. He called them centipede looking, but they're more like the 1,000-legger bugs.
Yeah. Millipede.
You kill it and the legs are still moving for like 10 minutes after you kill it. He hates bugs. So he just wants to kill them.
Oh.
And he distinctly remembers the ants crawling over him, and he hates bugs because of that reason.
That's
So,
a trauma.
Did you have to like strip him down naked to get all the bugs off him? Or do you remember?
I pretty much I pulled off his shirt. I remember checking his like pull-ups he was wearing at the time because I was afraid bugs would get in his privates. I was like freaked out. And then afterwards when we came home, I gave him a bath just to make sure he was, bug free.
I will say, I don't know if y'all get ticks up in New Jersey, don't you?
Yeah. I've never gotten one, but yeah, there are around.
You're just so lucky. It's because in the South, we have these bugs called chiggers. And they're real common in have you ever seen the Spanish hanging moss you see in like New Orleans?
Oh yeah.
So if you touch,
I don't like that.
Yeah, if you touch it, they will burrow into your skin and just they're awful. And they're just these little red bugs that dig under your skin and you just itch like crazy. So
because when I'm in Florida, like the trees in the backyard have the moss and I pull it off because I don't like it and I burn it. And I'm a little bit like
wear gloves.
Neurotic about that.
Wear gloves because you can get chiggers and they're god awful if you get them.
Oh.
I've never had chiggers.
Huh. Yeah, I remember walking through the forest near where I grew up, and my ankles were just coated in these, and they're so itchy.
I mean, even when I go on the walking trails on the a paved road, I'm long sleeve, long pant. I'm scared. I not scared. I'm
cautious.
Mindful.
Yeah.
That there's bugs. Just like the ocean. Things can kill me in the ocean. Things can hurt me in the woods.
Yeah. So if you are pulling off the Spanish moss, wear gloves or something because you can get those chiggers.
Okay.
That's enough. Now, are you scared of any bugs? Like, do you have like a phobia with bugs?
I don't like spiders.
Does he know that? The youngest?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well,
but they're just spiders are nasty.
The reason why I ask is that parents
furry?
Sometimes
project
their phobias onto their kids. So my mom was like freeze with spiders, and so I grew up scared of spiders because my mom was like the freeze. But I learned at haunted houses that I am a fighter and I will punch the fuck out of you or kick you if you touch me or scare me. So I learned mine, the 3 things, the fight, flight or freeze.
Flight.
Yeah. And so my mom was a freeze, I was a fight. So I learned that quickly and shit. When I had my son and he was like, there's a spider or there's a bug, man, mama, as long as it's not them big ass tree roach. I ain't gonna call them a German cockroach because Germany does not have these big motherfuckers.
Do y'all get those up in New Jersey?
I don't think
like
so.
Tree roaches, they're like
no
huge.
Yeah, they're like about 2 inches long.
No,
lucky.
Well,
you might get them in Florida.
When I grew up, we had these really, really nasty. My father would call them palmetto bugs, but they look like roaches to me. They were about 2 inches big.
Yeah, if you're ever in Florida, like the roaches, you should see them down there. So pretty nasty.
They're just huge.
What were you gonna say?
One time when we were arriving at our Florida house many, many years ago, we were pulling into the driveway and we saw something huge. It was weird. It looked like a big giant spider, but it ran as fast as a mouse did across the inside of the garage. We all saw it, but we all don't know exactly what it was. And I remember my daughter saying, we can't stay here, Mom. We can't stay here.
We have to burn the house
We
down.
have to leave.
Oh my God.
We're all like, what the F was that? Ugh. It was just like this big thing that was about like 3 inches big, and it ran across like.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Like we to this day we still don't know what it was, but they're like, we can't stay here. That was scary. And so because the washer and the dryer is in the garage, like for years I was freaked out. I would go to do laundry and I would go out into the garage and do it, and I would have to open the garage door because I was afraid this thing would come running toward me, and I needed a way to escape, so I had to open the garage door so I would have an escape route for years. And my husband would be like, "Why are you opening the garage door?" I'm like,
'Cause I don't want
I need somewhere to run out of. I need to know I have, like, I mean, there's the door back into the house, but it was like a double door. So I just needed like another escape route.
You never found the scary thing, and you never killed it. So now it's still in here somewhere. I know.
We don't know what it was.
2 escapes.
Yeah.
Because if it blocks me, I need to run the other way.
I'm with you on that one.
I
In my head, it was like a tarantula mouse. A mouse tarantula. Like,
no, ma'am.
No. That's why I don't want to ever go to Australia.
Fast.
Yeah. With the massive clock-shaped spiders. Nope.
No, thank you.
Those spiders are just disgusting.
I will tell you.
One time I had a...
Oh, sorry. I was about to say, I'll tell you about palmetto bugs when we get done, because I know we're kind of running out of time. I looked them up, and they're worse than our roaches. So I will give you the warning about that.
Yeah, what were you going to say, Lisa?
I got lots of stories I could tell. We'll probably need another event. But one time I remember trying to lay out in the sun in my backyard years ago, whatever. I just put like a sheet or whatever on the grass or whatever, trying to get a suntan, and I'm sweating or whatever. And I kind of feel a weird tickle under my arm.
Nope.
No, ma'am.
Anytime there's a tickle, run.
So I'm just like, okay, that's just like sweat dripping, whatever. Yep. And I just feel like more and more of a feeling. And this was under my armpit. Right? And I continue to feel this. No. And I look down on my shoulder, and there's a freaking spider, a hairy miniature like tarantula type spider, and I'm like, oh my god, I swat the freaking thing. I jump up, I have to like run in the shower because this freaking thing crawled under my armpit, and I felt it, and I ignored it because I thought I was just sweating, but it's just like so disgusting now that I think to this day I think about it. I had a freaking spider crawling under my armpit.
And it was the baby of the one that ran in the garage, and it came after you again. So you have the babies trying to hurt you as well. So note to self, the viewers, if you ever feel a tingle, don't think sweat, just run. And wipe. Like, run while you wipe. Like, just try to get the shit off.
If I closed my armpit, it probably would have bit me or something.
Oh, yeah, that's scary as shit. No.
Ma'am. No.
I do not like spiders because of my mom, but I will take care of them for my son and for myself now. I've gotten to that point.
We shouldn't even have them. I don't,
why they eat other insects. No, they're good. They eat the bad things, especially the mosquitoes. I keep all my spiders on my porch so they can eat the mosquitoes. Because mosquitoes are worse than spiders to me, especially daddy long legs, because they can't bite you.
Do y'all get daddy long legs up in New Jersey?
Oh, I forgot.
I'm not even sure what those are.
They're not exactly spiders, but they have like a little body that's about the size of their baby, maybe
like a piece of rice. It's not a big.
Like body. A lentil or a small bean, and then they have 8 legs, but the legs are about 1.5 inches each.
Ew.
Yeah, and they like to cluster together, so you'll find 50 of them all clumped up together, and then they scatter.
Ew.
It's horrible.
I've never seen multiples. I just see one every once in a while, and I'm like, hey baby, you good, because you can't bite.
All right, ladies, we're pushing 1 hour and 30 minutes, so let's wrap it up for today. So for all our 50 or 20 listeners, however many ever you are, we're on an upswing at the moment, but thank you for listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parent. If you have any funny stories about your kids,
or if you need some bad parenting advice, I got a lot. Or if you have any ideas for topics, please
email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on, or if you can, because apparently some of them you can't.
Yep. And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask why they had to change shirts for school, even though they've worn that same shirt to sleep for 3 days in a row.
Oh my God. Tough shit. Don't wear the same fucking shirt. Wash that shit, motherfucker.
That is the life I've been living for the last 3 weeks.
Oh my God, Kalia.
Thank you, Miss Lisa.
It was so nice to meet you, Miss Lisa. We will have to have you on again because I feel like you have so many more stories. Bye.
It was fun. Thank you, guys.